You hatch from an egg after your mom laid a cluster of them on the side of a leaf a couple of weeks ago. You quickly climb out of the eggshell and begin walking across the leaf surface. Your first task is to get some food, so that you'll have energy in case anything tries to eat you. While walking down the stem, you bump into another hatchling that's climbing the same direction. The two of you shove past each other and continue without fighting. Then, you spot an aphid sucking sap on another stem. You approach and lunge at it with all your strength but miss. The aphid drops off the plant and escapes. You stumble forward with your beak still extended and nearly fall off the stem yourself. Even though you can strike, you don't yet know how to kill properly. Nearby, one of your siblings successfully spears an aphid and begins to feed. The instinct to steal kicks in and you start to approach. You creep closer, waiting for the right angle. The sibling changes its position, lifting the aphid up. You use that moment and crawl behind it, ready to steal. While it is focused on feeding, you lunge and pierce the aphid with your beak. You quickly wrestle it free and back away with the prey. Your sibling jerks around, confused, looking upward as if something flew down and stole it. Then, another sibling notices and moves toward you, curious about what you're holding. You clutch the aphid tighter and sprint up a stem, keeping the distance between you. But before you can fully retreat, you see the first sibling, the one you stole from, crash out on the other one. It lunges at it, punctures its head, and begins to drink. The victim kicks once and goes still while the blood is drained from its body. You don't wait around. You crawl further onto the leaf, clutching your first stolen meal. You pierce it yourself and suck out the fluids until nothing is left. For now, you've learned how to steal. But that won't be enough to survive. You'll need to learn how to hunt. Skip forward a bit, and you're 2 weeks old now. You've left the area where you've been born behind, and you've ventured further to avoid competition with your siblings. Ahead of you, you spot a long column of leafcutter ants marching forward. Each one of them carries a bright green leaf above in its jaws. You walk up closer with your beak lowered and lunge at an ant that wasn't near the group. You pierce its head and it stiffens instantly, so you toss it aside and go for another one. You approach it from behind and stab it, killing it quickly. Then you drag it under a leaf where you feed and suck the body empty. But the ants don't stop coming. More of them keep walking up, hoping to cut leaves from this area. You lunge at a third one and stab it through the abdomen, flipping it onto its back. Then the others notice. They instantly drop their leaves and start running towards you. You stab one through the chest and kick it away, then pierce another through the head. They slam into your legs, each hit knocking you sideways as more close in. You strike again and again, leaving bodies on the ground. The ants are too big to carry whole, so you tear off their heads and hook them onto your back. Each head is light enough to carry, and the hard shell gives you cover if something tries to strike from above. But more ants keep coming out of their nest. One clamps onto your front leg and twists it aside. Another bites into your side, cutting deep. You shake hard, pull it free, and stab it until it stops moving. The ant army keeps rushing forward. You can't fight them all, so you decide to run. You sprint across the forest floor with the ant heads rattling on your back. They chase you over leaves and sticks without slowing down. You scramble up the nearest branch, stabbing the ones that catch up and shaking others loose until they fall. A few hang on longer, so you crush them against the bark and leave only the heads behind. When you reach the thinner branches, the ants stop climbing. They turn back toward the ground while you cling above. You've survived this time, and now the dead heads on your back carry their scent. If you meet another squad of ants again, maybe you can use it to blend in. You're 1 month old now. While exploring, you found a weird entrance into a rock. The crack is wide enough for you to slip inside, so you walk forward, careful of any danger ahead. The air is damp and filled with the faint sound of chewing. You push deeper and find a cluster of termites. Termites are perfect for you because they're soft enough to eat and small enough that you can use the whole body for your armor. You strike the nearest one with your beak and it freezes in place. That's when you use your secret power. A tube inside your beak pumps venom into its body, turning the insides to liquid. You suck everything out until the shell collapses. The others scatter into the tunnels, but they don't fight like ants. They vanish into the walls, leaving you alone with the husk of your kill. You drag it out with you and hook it onto your back, adding another layer to the pile of corpses you've started carrying. But as you climb back into the light, you see something waiting, another assassin bug. It's one of your siblings. It's bigger than you now, with longer legs and more armor stacked across its back. Its eyes lock onto the termite body you're carrying. It rushes forward. You twist and stab, but it's stronger. The two of you clash, locking your legs and stabbing each other with your beaks until it shoves you flat and rips the termite free. Then it keeps going, tearing off the rest of your armor one by one. The ant heads you collected scatter onto the ground below. You kick once more, but it slams you aside. You've got nothing left on your back and no way to defend yourself. So you turn and run, scrambling onto a stem until the sibling disappears from your sight. You stop on a leaf, empty and cut up, knowing you'll need to build your defenses again. For now, you're weak, and it looks like you'll have to do some off-camera mining before you're ready for the next fight. Skip forward again, and you're 2 months old. Over the past few weeks, you've been carefully killing ants and stacking them on top of your body. Now your armor is thicker and filled with the smell of ants, so you decide to go on a spy mission. You find a column of leafcutter ants, marching with leaves held above their heads. You crawl closer and slip into the line hoping that they won't notice. And it works. so you keep walking with them all the way to the nest entrance. A guard steps forward and blocks the group. You freeze, certain he's going to catch you. He leans close with his antenna brushing against your armor. He sniffs once, then presses even closer like he's about to strike. But after a moment, he steps aside and lets the group pass. You walk into the colony with him watching from behind. The tunnels are packed with ants moving in both directions, but none pay attention to you. You walk deeper until you find a chamber filled with eggs. You start feeding fast, piercing them one after another and drinking them dry. Then an ant spots you. It freezes, then turns back to alert the others. But you strike before it can even move. You stab once, dropping the body onto the floor, but two more appear from the far side of the chamber. You don't attack this time, you run. You sprint through the tunnels, shoving past ants as they start to realize something is wrong. You burst out of the entrance and see the guard still there. He charges, but you slam into him head-on, flipping him onto his back. His legs thrash as he blocks the tunnel, and you disappear into the forest with no one chasing you. This was the closest you've come to dying, but soon you'll make a mistake far worse, one that will cost you everything you've gained. You're 3 months old now. You've molted multiple times and you no longer need armor as you grew a pair of wings. Today, you decide to eat something new. A bee. You've noticed them landing on top of flowers and flying away after they collected something. So you decide to attack while they are busy. You find a good patch of flowers and climb onto one with a bee on top of it. When you get to the top, the bee doesn't even notice you. Its head is buried in the flower, trying to collect the good stuff. You poke it once to see what it will do, but it doesn't react, so you decide to lunge forward and stab it under the wing joint. It starts shaking and lifts off the petal with you still hanging on. The wings buzz, and the ground fades away as the bee climbs higher into the air. You rotate your body until your legs catch its underside, clinging tight so you don't slip down and fall. You can't think of another way out, so you do what you know best. You stab. Your mouth drives into its head and you start drinking its insides. The bee twitches, slows down, and then stops moving while you're still high in the air. Then the body drops, so you let go, falling next to it. In that same moment, another bee flies past. You grab on, jabbing into its back. It panics, diving downward in loops. You stab again, not deep enough to kill, just enough to make it panic even harder. The ground rushes up fast. At the last second you release. You drop onto the flower you started from, while the bee crashes into the grass below. It lays for a second, then stumbles back into the air and escapes with a clumsy flight. You leave the flower and crawl down the stem, not wanting to push your luck with more bees circling above. But after all that fighting, something else begins to grow inside you. The urge to breed. Skip forward and you're 4 months old now. Your abdomen is swollen. It's not from food, it's from eggs. They've been developing inside you for days, and now your body is pushing you to breed before you can lay them. Instinct drives you to search for a mate, because without fertilization, those eggs will be useless. You climb across a wide leaf and wait. After a couple of hours, another assassin bug appears. He doesn't attack. Instead, he stands still with his antennas twitching to test the air. Slowly, he lowers his abdomen and presses a white spermatophore onto the leaf. This is the male's offering, the only way he can pass on his genes. You approach carefully in case it's a trap, but he stays motionless, signaling that he isn't here to fight. So you move your body over the packet and lower yourself. Your abdomen presses down, and the transfer begins. You hold steady while the fluid fills you, fertilizing your eggs one by one. When it's finished, the male begins to slowly back away as if to leave. But instinct takes over again. Mating has filled your eggs, but it has also given you the perfect chance to feed. You lunge, stabbing him through the side before he can escape. He kicks hard, hooking one leg around your antenna to twist you off balance. You stab again into his side, pumping venom into him. He shakes, scraping his mouth across your abdomen, but the strike glances off your plates. His legs weaken as the venom spreads, so you push deeper and drink. The fluids drain fast. His body deflates in your grip until finally he hangs limp. So you pull your mouth free and drop him onto the leaf. Your eggs are fertilized, but your work isn't done. Soon, you'll have to lay them, and that moment will be more dangerous than any hunt you've survived so far. You're 4 months and a few days old now. The eggs inside you are ready, and your body feels drained of strength. Since mating, you've carried them with you everywhere, waiting for the moment to finally release them. Instinct tells you when the time is right. You crawl on a broad leaf and begin laying. One by one, the eggs leave your body until the cluster is complete. As soon as the last one is pressed into place, you walk away. In your kind, once the eggs are out, they're no longer your problem. A few days later, you're far from the nest, moving through a tunnel chewed by termites. You spear one and start to drink when something small steps into the light. A hatchling, one of your own. You pause, watching it creep closer. For a moment, the two of you just stare. Then it lunges. You react faster, stabbing through its side before it can touch you. You drink it dry and leave its husk crumpled on the tunnel floor. The next day, you pass through the same stretch of forest where you laid your eggs. And this time, you see them. 2 of your young are tearing into each other. Their mouths stab again and again until one finally collapses. The survivor stands upright, its abdomen swollen with everything it has stolen. You lunge before it can recover, stabbing it through the side and killing it instantly. You lower your beak to feed, but before you can drink, another drops from a leaf above. Its beak drives into your back. You twist, trying to shake it free, but two more rush from the sides. Their mouths pierce your body and the venom floods in. The cycle ends, just as it began, with a stolen meal. Life as an assassin bug might be rough, but there's another animal out there that has it way worse. Trust me, it's wild. Check out the video and see for yourself.